So Nicholas, I love your background. You didn't know it, but it's actually perfect. We have one more friend coming in. Aiden, can you sit up for the lesson?
She can see you.
Okay, so we're waiting for one more kid to come in. And just to, before we start our lesson, I just want to ask you guys a few questions. Like, what are you guys learning at home this week? Or what did you learn last week? Anyone want to share? What are you guys doing at home? Like your STEM lessons, your science, your math, anything?
What are you working for now?
Melenis, unmute.
You already math yesterday.
You did some ID math yesterday? Yeah, Landon, I'll call on you in 1 second. And thank you, Landon. What, do you remember what the lesson was about, Melenis, by chance? Like, what did you do? Do you remember, Melenis, what your iReady lesson was? What was it about?
It was doing a great job for the already math, and I do something great
You did something.
on my computer.
Oh, what was that great thing that you did?
I did a good job but the Kahoot looks so hard, and then I just lose everything.
Listen, don't worry about it. It's okay. So Landon,
Hannah wins every time.
it's okay. I don't win every time with things that I do either. I lose sometimes. It's about what we learn. So Landon, what have you been learning either this week, last week? Landon?
Today I did some math already.
Okay. Do you remember what your lesson was about?
Adding 2-digit numbers and 1-digit numbers.
So why is it important to learn that or to know that?
Because you want to know all of the numbers.
You do have to know numbers, right? So with tens and ones, we compare numbers, we do all these great things. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Raise a silent hand if you like to read. Okay. Raise a silent hand if you'd like to do experiments. Okay. Raise a silent hand if you like to build things. Oh my gosh. Aiden, what do you like to do? Thank you, Kathy. Aiden, what is one thing you like to do? Aiden.
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. So I'm gonna get back to you on that question. Okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, hold on tight. You're gonna see my notebook. Now, once I start sharing my notebook, you don't see me. You'll see my notebook. It takes a few seconds to load. Okay. So hold on tight. Hold on tight. Okay. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Okay. So show me a thumbs up when you see my notebook. Yeah, it takes about 3, sometimes 5 seconds. This week has been taking a little longer. Okay, thumbs up when you see my notebook. Melanie's, do you see my notebook? Landon, do you see my notebook? Does anyone see my notebook? Okay, thank you, Melanie's. Okay, so it's nice to see you guys. So today we're going to talk about something you may know something about. But before the lesson is over, you will be able to explain. You're going to be able to tell me that the Earth's gravity will pull. Pull is that force. We were talking about pushing and pulling last week. Any object on or near the Earth's surface. And I'll say it one more time. You're going to be able to explain that the Earth's gravity will pull any object on or near the Earth's surface. Okay? That's what you're going to be able to do. You're going to be able to tell me something about gravity. Okay? Now I'm going to move over. I'm going to put a sheet of paper there. Now this sheet of paper is called a KWL chart. Okay? And we're going to start writing down some ideas about gravity. Now, what do you already know about gravity? So this is a KWL chart because we're going to write things that we know, we want to know, and things that we have learned. So put yourself off mute, raise a silent hand, and tell me something you know about gravity. You can unmute and you can just share out because it's not really letting me see everybody. So you can just unmute. What do you know about gravity? Landon, do you know anything about gravity?
Every time you jump, you don't float up into space.
So you don't float. Okay, perfect. Anyone else want to share out something you know about gravity? Oliver, you know anything about gravity?
Oh, if there wasn't any gravity, we would just be flying in the air. And if there was gravity, we wouldn't be floating.
Okay, perfect. Very good. Melanie's, what do you know about gravity? And then Kathy, if you know something. Melanie's, you can unmute and share out.
The rain can go down at the earth at night.
Okay, so gravity helps the rain go to earth. Okay, Kathy, I'm gonna move my chart down. Kathy, tell me something you want to know about gravity. Or Aiden, Nicholas, something you want to know about gravity.
You can float and move in the space.
Okay. All right. You can float. Okay, but I want you to tell me something that you want to know. Let's talk about something we want to know about gravity. Aiden, is there anything you would like to know about gravity? Nicholas, anything you'd like to learn about gravity? One thing maybe.
Why does gravity keep you to the ground?
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Something you want to know about gravity? Melenis.
You can put the ball at the ground, and then it's where you can put the ball at the ground.
You can put a ball at the ground? You can, definitely. Landon, something you want to know about gravity?
How do we fall from the moon to the earth?
Say that again?
How do we fall from the moon to the earth?
Okay, all right. So we're gonna hold on to this KWL chart. We're gonna write down all the different things that we've learned. So we're about to start our lesson on gravity, but before we start, let's just make sure we have an understanding of some important words. So one important word that we're gonna have to, we'll probably talk about is the word force. Now, last week and the week before, you guys were learning about pushing and pulling. So a force, thank you, Landon. A force, you guys can give me some reactions. A force is something that's gonna make something move. So if I push a ball, it's going to move. If I pull a wagon, it's going to move. So we said gravity, okay? We talked about that. So gravity is this invisible force, this invisible thing that brings things to the earth, on or near the earth. Invisible. If something is invisible, I will not see it, okay? You can't see it, okay? I'm gonna move my cards away, all right? Let's keep in mind that we're gonna be able to explain that the Earth's gravity will pull any object on or near the Earth's surface, all right? So I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. Melenis, I love that. All right. So I'm gonna stop sharing and now you're gonna see me, okay? So let me get my word. Yes, Landon?
You're frozen.
I'm frozen? Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I go from website to website, it kind of just freezes a little bit, as long as you can hear me. So in front of me, I have the word gravity. So gravity is this invisible force, this thing that makes anything come closer to the Earth's surface, okay? Now you're gonna watch me. So it is a pull, right? And we've been talking about forces, pushing and pulling, right? So a pull is this, when you pull. A push is, those are forces. Now I have a little experiment, okay? Can you see me? Okay, so in front of you, in front of me, I have a cup of water. Now it's just regular water, it's not juice. What do you think I put in the water to make it turn purple? What do you think I put in there? What did I put in the water to make it look purple? He's like, I don't know. What could I have put in there to make it look purple? You think I put mud in there? No. Did I put dirt? What could I have put in this water to make it, thank you, Melenis, to make it turn purple? You don't know? Could I have put grape juice? Could this be grape juice maybe? Okay. Well, it's food coloring, cuties. So food coloring is a liquid. Liquid is something that like you drink. And to make it turn purple, because I really wanted you to see this. Exactly, Nicholas. So I'm going to hold up this cup of water with purple food coloring. Why do you think I used food coloring? Landon, why do you think I put purple in here?
It tastes better.
Well, food coloring, it just, you know, you're so cute. So food coloring doesn't change the taste, cutie pie. Food coloring only changes the color, okay? So the reason why I chose purple is because it's a bright color, you could see it, but I wanted you to be able to see it. Like I wanted, because you're on your computer, so you may not be able to see clearly. You know, we're virtual. So I wanted to make sure that you actually saw the experiment. So if I'm correct, right? If I'm correct here, gravity, if I'm gonna put a hole in through this cup. Now, if I'm correct and gravity is correct, what do you think is gonna happen to the water? If I put a hole through this cup, what's gonna happen to the water? Remember, gravity. Nicholas, thank you. Oliver, yes.
The water is gonna spill.
Okay, is the water gonna go, okay, it's gonna spill. But let me ask you a question. Is it gonna go up, down, sideways, left, right, hazy pazy? Where's the water gonna go?
Down.
Down. Okay, who thinks that the water is gonna go down? Thumbs up to say yes, thumbs down to say no. You're back, Kathy. I know, technology just throws us all over the place. Okay, so thumbs up if you think the water's gonna go down. Okay, here we go. Yep, hold on tight. I'm gonna use my right hand. Hold on. Oh, let me get my scissor. Hold on, let me dump some of this water out. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Now, if I would have used water without food coloring, you would have not seen the water because it would be too, it's not, it wouldn't be clear enough, okay? Here we go. So why did the water, I can just pour the rest out. Why did the water go down? What made the water go down? Kathy, what made that water go down?
It spilled in the plate.
It did, it spilled in the bowl. What made that happen? How did that happen? I didn't force it. Aiden, what made that water go down in my bowl? Unmute, cutie.
Gravity.
Thank you. It's that pull. Watch this. So I have my daughter's slime. What do you think is going to happen to the slime? Nicholas, what do you think is going to happen to the slime?
It's gonna go out.
Out, back, up, down, left, right?
Down, because I can see it trying to drip down.
So what do we know about gravity? What are we seeing so far? What have you learned so far about gravity? Nicholas, tell me what you learned so far about gravity.
That everything that is on the earth stays down.
Everything. So a
The
feather,
whole earth.
it's a pull, right? Okay, here we go. Now let me ask you a question. What would have happened to the slime if there was no gravity, Landon? No gravity at all.
Everything would float right up to the moon, into
you.
outer space or anywhere.
Listen, he said a very important word, float. The opposite of gravity is floating. Okay, I'm gonna stop it here. How are these two experiments the same or different? How was my water experiment and my slime experiment the same or different? Melenes. Pay attention, Aiden. You have to unmute, cutie.
The water and the slime is sticky.
Right, but let me get back to the question. How were those two experiments the same or different? Were these two the same? Were they different?
Yes,
Tell me.
they're
Got slime on my hand. How are they the same or different, Melenis?
because that because they don't make different colors.
Okay, so let me rephrase my question. Did the same thing happen? Did we get the same outcome with both experiments? Did the same thing happen?
It's the same.
Okay, now, Landon, tell me how those two experiments are the same.
They
Aiden?
both were dripping down.
Ooh,
Down.
they were both dripping, right? A drip is like when the water comes out the faucet. Now, Aiden, how were those two experiments different? Sit still, guys. How were they different? They were different. Oliver, how were those two experiments different? Kathy, we're in class. You shouldn't be eating your snack. How were they different?
Well, the water spilled out and the slime dripped out.
Right. And what do you think? Why do you think one dripped out and the other kind of spilled out like a blob? Right? Thank you, Landon. Why do you think so, Oliver? What makes those two experiments different?
That one of them drips out and the water doesn't. The water pours out.
Right. So how is the slime different than the water?
The slime dripped out and not spilled out.
Mm-hmm. Is one thinner in consistency than the other? Landon.
Well, the slime is thinner than the water, but the water is more like juicier than the slime. So I'm guessing it's gonna be slime.
Right. So Nicholas, the slime is thicker than the water. Okay. So listen, I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I'm going to call on some of you. All right. How would you describe your bedroom if there was no gravity? Kathy, how would you describe your bedroom if there was no gravity?
Because the earth don't have gravity and they have normal gravity.
Right? Okay, correct. But what would your room look like if there was no gravity? Nicholas, what would your room look like if there was no gravity?
It would be floating.
What would be floating in your room right now?
Everything.
Everything. Give me an example of one thing in your room that would be floating right now.
My bunk bed.
Your bunk bed. Uh-oh. All right, I'm going to share my screen one more time. Landon, go ahead.
My Buccaneer and raised bobbleheads.
Right? Aiden, give me an example of what your room would look like if there was no gravity.
Upside down.
Oh, okay. And what would some of the objects in your room be doing right now?
Floating.
Floating? What about your books? Where would they be?
Well, my books are usually in my bookshelf, so they would just be floating on the they won't be floating because they're on a bookshelf.
Floating
My
around,
books are
right?
on a bookshelf.
Melanie, stop. Okay, exactly. I'm gonna share my screen one more time. We're gonna go back to our KWL chart. Hold on tight, kiddos. Guys are doing a great job. Nicholas, thank you for the background. You had no idea. Okay, so you're gonna see my KWL chart. This is the things that we knew about gravity, what we want to know, okay? And maybe something that we have learned, okay? And I'm going to call on you to answer a question, okay? Aiden, tell me wait, Aiden, do you see my chart, my KWL chart? Oh, thank you. Oh, Landon, thank you. Okay, Aiden, tell me one thing you learned today.
Well, I don't think I learned anything.
So did you know, oh, okay, hold on tight. Oliver, tell me something that you learned today. Nicholas. Anything?
Pretty much nothing because I already know that stuff because I read books that have gravity in them and stuff like space.
Okay. I'm gonna beg to differ. Hold on a second. Nicholas, tell me something that you have learned today.
That gravity will keep you on the ground if there is, and if there's no gravity, the whole entire Earth will let you float out, like me right now.
Exactly. That gravity keeps you on the ground. Now, Aiden, did you know that the opposite of gravity is floating? You did know that. Okay. All right. So did you know that there are certain professions, certain jobs, maybe this is something you didn't know, that need gravity? Let me give you an example. Soccer players need gravity. I'll say it again. Soccer players need gravity. Aiden, why would a soccer player need gravity? Sit still, guys.
So they can kick the ball.
Thank you. Did you know that?
Yes.
Did you think about that before the lesson? Okay, then Aiden, you should have been the teacher today. Good job.
Hey.
Did you know that basketball players need gravity?
Well, I still play the soccer ball.
You still play? Okay. All right. Now, okay. Now, you guys, are you ready? Are you prepared to play Kahoot? Okay. You'll need that second device, the tablet or the cell phone. Okay. I love your reactions. Can I give you guys a reaction? For you. All right. I'm going to share my screen. Kathy, do you have the second device? No? Okay. Just pay attention. All right. Landon, you ready? Aiden, you ready? Okay. We're going to play a quick 5-question Kahoot. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Oliver. All righty. Now, once I start sharing the Kahoot, it does take a little bit of time. So give it a second, okay? So you are already logged into kahoot.it, okay? You will be prompted to put your name. Please put your full name, your first name. You don't have to put Landon Stevens, you can just put Landon, you can put Oliver or Nicholas. Now, once we start playing Kahoot, it's going to take a second and it may be a little slow, but I want you to actually play this game, okay? There's only 5 questions, and this is also going to tell me, and I will be checking, what you guys learned today, okay? And Kathy, I can stay on Zoom with you one-on-one if you can't play Kahoot, and it's absolutely fine, okay? So just be patient as you guys have been patient. Because Kahoot, you know, once I am sharing different screens, it's been a little slow, okay? All right. All right, so I just closed my camera, and that usually speeds things up. And I also have been noticing that when I play Kahoot, when I try to see all of you guys in Zoom, it's been so weird. So, you know, let's think about the slime in the water, okay? Oliver said 1 drips out, okay? There you go, there's your password, guys. Yeah, and Kathy, you can stay on after and we can talk a bit. If you can't play, it's okay, you just follow along.
Oh, I got it.
Okay, all righty. So it's just 5 questions, nothing too crazy. And this will also tell me what you have learned today, okay? Because Aiden said, I knew all that stuff. And Oliver's like, I know those things because I read those books. And that's great. And Nicholas obviously knows a lot because he looks like he's already in space somewhere. I'm gonna change my background. Okay, so you're gonna put in 156. 6260. I have slime all over my hands. I'm slimy. Okay. So I'm just waiting for Oliver. I will be watching, waiting for Aiden. Melanie is in. Melanie knows Kahoot very, very well. Landon, I really love seeing you on Zoom, just so you know. Because you're so cute. Okay. I know every time I see you, it's like, it's either, your teeth are either coming out or already out.
2 teeth are growing and then I got a wiggly tooth.
You got, ooh, the wiggly teeth.
Me too.
You too.
I almost I tooth. It almost get out.
Okay, I'm sorry,
And
Melanie.
it's wiggling.
Forgive me. Whoever put in this name, it has to be your real name. So please put in, Aiden, is that you? Aiden, can you put in your real name?
Seriously.
And then we will get started.
You just sit there and not say anything, dude?
Okay. Since I closed out my document camera, it's actually faster. When I did Zoom there, okay, a little while ago, it was so slow. All right, there we go. So you're gonna see 5 questions. So there's, thank you, Aiden. There's 5 different slides, okay? Gravity pulls things, red up, B, yellow down, blue sideways, green diagonal. Diagonal is kind of like to the side. So gravity pulls things up, down, sideways, or diagonal, okay? All right, so someone put up, someone put down. Well, it pulls things down. It's that pull, right? To the Earth's surface. And then you'll see your score, okay? And we'll go on to the next slide, all right? All right, hold on tight, Kathy. We could do this together. What makes things fall down? Red, gravity, yellow, matter, B, jumping. And this Kahoot, all Kahoots, record your scores. Okay, so gravity makes things fall or fall down, right? Definitely not jumping. I mean, you can jump and fall down, but gravity is doing that work, okay? Alrighty, alrighty. So I normally don't look at scores. So we talked about the word force. Is it a fall or trip? A jump or bump? A push or pull? Remember, I was like this. Crash or bang? Red, fall or trip? Yellow, jump or bump? Blue, push or pull? Green, crash or bang? What is a force? And this shows me what you guys know. Yay! It's a force, push or pull. Like I said, I think we did that last week or the week before. Alrighty, alrighty. And there were 5 questions. Gravity made my balloon go down. True? Or I was supposed to say false. True, let's just say blue is false. True or blue false? Does gravity make your balloon go down? True or blue false? I'm so sorry about that. I try to edit that one. True. Gravity makes the balloon go down. Last question. What is the opposite of gravity? Floating, jumping. All righty. Floating is the opposite of gravity. And then you'll see your score. I don't look at scores. I go back and I look at, by myself, I look at some of the answers that you got wrong. And I talk to you guys about that when you're on Zoom. Okay. All right. I'm going to click next. All right. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. Listen, guys, someone tell me what today's lesson was about. Oliver.
It was about gravity.
Okay. And what can you tell me? Because we have to make sure we close everything up with our objective. What is that thing? What can you tell me about it?
That gravity makes stuff not float in the air.
Right. Our water, it is a pull to the Earth's surface. Okay. Now I'll tell you one thing. When I was digging a little deeper into this lesson for you guys, I learned something. Because some of you were like, I didn't learn anything. I'll tell you one thing I learned, or it made me think of. It made me think of certain professions that rely on gravity. Basketball players, they go for that dunk, they have to come back down. If not, they're stuck up in the air. What about a football player? Do they need gravity? Landon, tell me about football players. Do they need gravity?
Yes.
Why do they need gravity? Thank you, Kathy. Hold on tight.
Well, if it's too high and it's gonna go, not if it's going above your head, you have to jump and catch it, and then you fall down. Otherwise, if you don't fall down, you would have to throw the football down to the field, but then it'll go floating.
That's it. What about a gymnast? Someone that does gymnastics. Do they need gravity, Kathy? Someone that does gymnastics or a dancer? Yeah, unmute and tell me. And then Aiden, I want you to tell me something. And then Nick, and then Melenies.
Yes.
Yeah, tell me about it. Sit still. Tell me.
When you wear the astronaut, it makes you float in the moon.
So astronauts, do they need gravity? Oh, they don't. do they need it? No, right? They don't really need it, right? Necessarily. Aiden, what about a tennis player? Do they need gravity?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So if tennis players are playing tennis and whenever somebody holds the ball and when the person lets go of the ball, it floats. So the other person can't like hit it.
Okay, but then they have to get the ball back, right? So do they want it to float or do they want gravity to get that ball back,
They want gravity to get the ball back.
right? Nicholas, what about a baseball player? Do you think they need gravity?
Yes,
Tell me about that.
because
How do I get a turn?
if the basketball is just floating when the person threw it, then the person who threw it could not get it back.
Mm-hmm.
Only gravity can give the person back. the
Right.
ball.
Yeah. Melendez, tell me about a time when you saw something happen because of gravity. Like tell me about a time in your house when you saw something happen and it's because of gravity.
The cup don't bounce.
The cup doesn't melt,
The cup doesn't melt because
but what about gravity?
because the they don't have that gravity for the cup because it has glass and it'll bounce and it'll have batteries. I mean gravity.
Batteries. Okay, guys, listen. Thank you so much. This was so much fun. I shared my water experiment, my slime. It's now all over the place. Now remember, the slime is thicker. It has more mass, it's thicker, heavier. And so that's why it didn't pour out like Oliver said. Okay? So I will see you next time. Kathy, you can stay on if you like. Okay, you can stay on. All right? So you guys can click end. I will see you guys next Tuesday in my small groups. Take care, guys.
Can I be done?